Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Wera Bicycle Set 15 Tire Lever Multi-Tool Set. As a cyclist, it's important to have the right tools for repair while still reducing weight and bulk, so you don't want to carry everything from your house on your bike saddle. The Wera Bicycle Set 15 Tire Lever Set combines 3 levers with 8 bits and additional functionality in a very compact form factor and lightweight. Packaging wise, you can see nice and simple. Just a cardboard box. You have the orange graphics that Wera is known for, and a nice little illustration of the levers on there. You can see which bits are included, and then additional instructions on the back side. I'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the full specs. Retail price on this is about $39.99. It's a 3 tire lever set, and they include 2 4-in-1 bits, and that covers a T25 and then a hex 2.5, 3, 4, 5, and 6 sizes. It has a valve core tool, so you can actually remove a valve core. Now it even has this little protrusion on here for bleeding a Schrader valve or doing a valve ejector for a French valve. It even has a 1/4 inch bit holder on here to give you additional leverage, so you can put the bit through 2 of the levers and use that as a handle. You can see as far as what's included, you get the 3 lever set, and they have a little protrusion to hold it all together. 2 of the bits pre-installed, and then a little sticker here, as well as a little instruction manual that gives you basic information. Now let's take a look at the weight of the tire lever set. So despite all the functionality, you can see it's only 47 grams. Visually, the tire lever set just looks like a standard set of tire levers. It has a composite construction, all black finish, and you can see there's 3 of them that sit flat against each other. There's these built-in protrusions that sit in the matching little recess, so it really holds itself together without the need of magnets or additional pieces. You can see you have 3 levers, so each one of them has different functionality. 2 of the levers have the 4-in-1 bit, but otherwise they look very similar. They have the center cut out for it. And then the one that doesn't just has a little recess section to hold it. 2 of the ones with the bits also have the 1/4 inch hexagonal bit holder. That's designed for either one of these, and that serves as your handle. The last one is what they call their 9505 lever, and this has the valve core tool. So you can see that rectangular cutout. And on the back side, you can see you have the little protrusion that's great for bleeding a Schrader valve. Otherwise, the tire levers have your standard design. So you have the lever side nice and wide and flat here, and you can see how it tapers down, but it feels quite strong, so it doesn't feel like it would crack even if you use a stubborn tire. But with this one, you get under 3 of them is a little bit overkill. Typically 2 is all you really need. So you put 1 under, you put the second one under, kind of pull them off, and then using both of them, you can get the tire off the bead. What's really cool about the design is the way you use the bits. So instead of just being tire levers, you actually have bits pre-installed on here. And they have this little holder that you just kind of push out to get them off. So push down one side, and you can see it'll pop out. Each of these bits is what they call their 4-in-1 bit. So you can see you have the outer surface that has a larger diameter. And then you have the inner surface, which is actually spring loaded. So it's really cool. If you push down, you can use the outer one. And if you don't push down, it'll engage the thinner section. So with this one, you have a 2.5, 3, 4, 5, and 6 millimeter hex. And then you also have a T25 Torx. But the design is really clever again, and just to use the outer one, you have to apply constant pressure for it to engage, as the spring will otherwise push it out. You can also use the levers as the handle itself. So if you take 2 of the levers with the cutout, you can put this on here. You can slide it in either end. And you can see there's actually a little groove on both sides. And that'll go down right to that groove. And now I can use this as a little multi-tool. It's a little bit shorter than your standard multi-tool, so you can see pretty narrow. So if you have a more recessed bolt, something like a through axle, which might need something a little bit longer, this might not go all the way in and engage it, but otherwise very compact and a great way to carry tire levers, which you always need, plus the bits. The two bits are pretty much the same, just have different attachments on there, but same design. And then they hold their position pretty well because they're spring loaded. So you can see how these have a little cutout. You have to compress the spring and then push down to get it to sit in place. So you do the same thing on both sides. And then it holds itself pretty well. So you can see it won't really fall out compared to the other ones which just have little clips. And then it goes back in really any order, it doesn't really matter. So it seems like you can flip it to have either direction, front or back. It doesn't really seem to matter at all. And nice and compact overall form factor. Now let's take a look at the tire levers in action. As you can see, we primarily only use two of them. It's very weird to use all three. But as with any tire lever, you want to get all the air out. Try to pull it off the bead by hand as much as you can. And then get one lever in there and a second one. With the curved and thin edge, it actually works pretty well. I would recommend just pulling off those actual 4-in-1 bits though, because it can kind of scratch your rim. And I kind of forgot to do that here, but once you take it out, it's a lot easier. And then with the second one, you can see you can really push it through and use it as leverage. So it works well overall, not my favorite, but it is still pretty good given the fact that it's multifunctionality. And you can see the valve core tool also works well, but not as good as the smaller tools, as you have limited range as it'll hit the spokes as you rotate it. But otherwise, a pretty cool tool. Gives you additional functionality with the same size as a tire lever. Now let's do a little comparison between the Wera tire lever and other tire levers on the market. Our favorite tire levers are the Pedros tire levers, and you can see it has a really robust design. It's about the same size, but these are quite thick. So you can see it has a tapered lip that goes down, a little bit more exaggerated than the Wera version. So you can see a little bit easier to get under, quite thick, and then very reinforced. So it has this little indentation here, and it's very thick, so no flexibility, while this one has a little bit of flexibility. And that's also more flexible because you have the cutouts, of course. But you don't have additional functionality with the Pedros, just the valve or the spoke tool here integrated in the ends, and then they clip in together similarly. But even with the two lever set, it actually seems to be just about as thick as the 3-lever set as the Wera one, which is kind of interesting. So it's a little bit more compact here, despite having the additional functionality and bits. We've also reviewed the Rehook. This is the plus version, which actually has some additional bits. So this one is the chain tool on one side, and then the tire lever on the other. You can see it's quite flat. So it's one downside of the Rehook one. It's not my favorite tire lever. It's more of a flat edge rather than being curved up to help you get under there and push back. So not as good as a tire lever. And then they have a little mini tire lever on the inside. What I've always never really liked about this one is the way the bits are stored. You can see they sort of just move around. It's hard to get them to hold their spot very well. They're just a little simple tab design that's supposed to hold them in place. But they don't seem to work that well, and you can see separate label bits for each one compared to the 4-in-1 design. You can also see it has the hex bit holder here at the end. So you can grab this, and then similar to the Wera design, you can tighten it. But you can see the storage solution is not that great. It really moves around. It also has these different size metal hex bits on here as well, if you had a bolt or something you wanted to use it on. What we like about the levers, they have very compact design given all the multifunctionality, and it's a very clever 4-in-1 bit with the spring-loaded ends. It also has a thin and flat lever, which works well with stubborn tires. The main negative is the fact that it's quite expensive for a tire lever. You could essentially get a multi-lever and tire levers at the same price. And you have some repeated functionality with the 5 and 6mm bits on the 4-in-1 bits. So it would have been nice if they could somehow differentiate it or add more, but obviously it's hard with the size. Taking everything into account, we give levers an 8.8 out of 10. They're bike levers with extra functionality, so if you don't have a lot of space, this is a good compromise. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at sweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.